Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome to the David Starlyte Show. It's a little bit cold right here. I was hoping for some sunshine, but here we go with the rain. And welcome to friends of the show, old, young, new, wherever you are, whomever you are. It's great to have everyone on the show in these complex times where the mirrors are showing us who we are, the shadows are lurking and sometimes leaking, and we need to always clear our energy field, clear our own past traumas, and keep revolving, rotating, evolving, and moving forward. All of us have something to look at. All of us have something to learn. All of us have shadows in past experiences, things that we're still holding on to. So using intention, we clear the energy, keep clearing. And sometimes that's hard work. Sometimes it seems almost like there's an impenetrable wall around us, over us, that's holding us hostage and keeping us like we can't move, keeping us in a straitjacket. So it's important that we recycle the energy, we remove the energy, we clear the energy healing, shifting. We are these colorful creatures, these chameleons with so many aspects to who we are, so many components, so many complex, interwoven personality traits. Just think of all your ancestors and think, I don't know how many people you knew. I just knew three grandparents. I knew So some of you may know great grandparents, people, even beyond that. It's amazing nowadays. You come across great grandparents and ancestors that you can meet and talk to. They're still alive. I met three of my grandparents. I had three. And then for at least until about, I think I was about 20 when my grandfather passed away. So I had a few years with two of my grandparents. The other one passed away when I was a child. And Jess says, hi, Jess, welcome to the show, and great to see you, Jess. How are you? How are you doing, Jess? So we have all these ancestors within us, and all of them had hopes and dreams and pain and suffering and trauma, and we have that within us. That consciousness. And this alchemy occurs within our soul. Our soul is here to expand itself, to grow. And we meet all these energies. We merge with all these energies, which are not necessarily our own energy. If your grandmother was a certain way, had a certain life experience, that's not necessarily reflected within you. However, you've chosen to encapsulate that, incorporate that, heal that, and transform it. You've chosen to enter into the water, and when you enter in the water, you're going to get wet. So not all the suffering is ours. Here's my face. Not all the suffering is ours, but in another way, I just think we paused. Oh, there we go. We just paused. Not all the suffering is ours, as in it's not always from us. We didn't create it, but it's within us. We chose it, if that makes sense. We chose to enter into that field and become incarnated into a world that we inherited, but we didn't create necessarily. We're part of the creation, but we also come from far away. We come from an eternal realm that is not three-dimensional, that is not filled with all this polarity and division. So welcome to Shani. Welcome to the show. Great to see you. And hi, Jess. How are you today? It's afternoon. Are you having a good afternoon? Has it been a good day? Beautiful to see you, Shani. So we've inherited all these energies, and it's part of our mission to co-create, to work with these energies, maybe to alchemize them, take lead and turn it into gold. So where is your lead, and are you going to turn it into gold? Everyone has these issues that they've inherited from their ancestors, from their parents, things that are within you that you did not partake in. You did not partake in your grandmother's world, your grandmother's experience, but she's part of you now. You're partaking of your feet are wet, and your feet are wet in the waters of that experience, that ancestral experience. Good evening, Shady. Welcome to the show. How's your day been? What are you up to? So ancestral healing is really essential. It's really important that we look at it. And it also explains how some of us, we can do a lot of spiritual work, but things still arise. And that's just the reality of this world. It is confrontational. There are things that are going to arise, and we thought that everything was healed, but there's always more layers. Just says, relaxing, taking it easy, was taking a training. They said no today. Who said no? Relaxing, taking it easy, was taking a training. They said no today. Who said no? Well, behind every no is a yes, and every door closes. Whenever any door closes, there is another door that opens. Things are opening and closing. Movement and change is what we're here to experience, to choose, to transform even the stillness, yet also to embrace the stillness. So it is a funny alchemy of dualities and non-dualities. Now, I've been writing a little bit about safety this week, and quite confronted by this idea of emotional safety, spiritual safety, and how to transform the energy of being safe in one's body, being safe in one's psyche, in one's consciousness, because safety is not just physical safety. It goes beyond that. The feeling of I am okay, the universe supports me, I am held, I am in a nurtured environment. Now, not everyone has that. A lot of us did not have that in childhood. And perhaps it happened metaphysically, emotionally. Perhaps people like me experienced something of just not being heard. So my voice was just not heard. So it was like I wasn't there. It was like a fly on the wall. I was there, but I wasn't part of the experience. I was in the experience, but just watching and not necessarily associating or being associated. Just says the Troina, laugh out loud, and they're working on our credentials. Tracy, welcome to the show. Hello, David. And Shani, welcome to the show, Tracy. How's your morning? So we have all these beautiful people. We're talking a little bit about ancestral healing, safety. I was talking a little bit about my own experiences. Hi, Tracy. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Tracy. And what it's like to feel safe in one's environment, in one's world, in one's family. A lot of people experience a feeling of not being held, not being met, not being nurtured, not being allowed to express themselves, or feeling safe to express themselves, or not even being allowed to express their needs. So it goes beyond just the voice, beyond just physical safety, but actually expressing one's needs, and this is not necessarily what I want, but this is actually what I need. So do any of you share that or relate to that? A lot of kids were not given that nurturing or safe space to be able to express their needs or realize that they had needs or realize that their needs were important. Because when you're involved in other people's worlds and their worlds are just about them, so if a parents are just circling around in a type of narcissistic way often, or abusive way, where everything is about them, then there's no space for you. So where is the space for a developing child? So that maps out in adulthood this type of anonymity, of hiding away. So that's what I've done in my experience with my family. It's a type of anonymity where I've always been hiding away. And the healing is quite confronting to really face up to that I do have needs, and my needs are, that's okay to have needs. I'm not disturbing anyone by having needs. Those are my needs. It's a type of self-validation, a type of expression in the world. And let me know if any of you have similar experiences, you can relate to this, of not being heard as a child, and as an adult you're kind of working with these energies, going through this kind of growth period of stepping forward perhaps. And a lot of people, there's a lot of processes where people are becoming more assertive. That's a big shift for many people. Assertiveness training, becoming more assertiveness. I still struggle with that myself. So being assertive and standing up for yourself, and that's part of safety. It's not just courage, it's how we were conditioned to feel as a child. Did we feel validated? Did we feel supported? Or did we feel ignored, suppressed, not really validated? There wasn't much interest in our point of view. There wasn't much interest in our experience or our energy. So there's so many dimensions in parenting, in childhood, and how the conditions of our environment conditioned us a certain way. And one way often people were conditioned was to keep quiet or just take it. And so being assertive is quite confronting, because we're stepping out of that quiet zone and stepping up and saying, well, I have needs. This is what my needs. And so assertiveness training is a big one. Yes, in my experience, no one asks how you are feeling. People assume it's difficult to talk about emotions, I believe. I remember asking my mom to hug me. The good thing is she always did it she always does it when I ask. So that's really beautiful, Jess. And it is important that we, when you say, nobody hugs me, and it's like when you say, oh, I remember asking my mom to hug me. I relate to that, because we do have human needs, and one need is to have a physical connection, is to be hugged. And so that's really beautiful that you were able to recognize your own needs and ask for your needs. Yes, I most definitely am being very assertive. Yes, I most definitely am being very assertive. So Tracy, is that something you've learned? How did you learn it? Why did you learn it? And tell us a little bit more about your experiences and your self-healing and your growth, because this is about safety and stepping out of perhaps someone like me that was very quiet, very shut down, very, very shy, removed from the forefront and in the background. And being assertive is kind of going, well, this is my needs. This is this is important to me. So it's for many people, it's a huge growth level, and they say it's the number one reason people go to see a psychologist. The number one reason is for developing assertiveness. It's a very big task. I learned it many years ago. However, I had an injury to my brain about 7 years ago, and it took me a while to get myself back. Wow. So Tracy, I'm sorry to hear about your injury. I'm curious what happened. Did you have an accident? That sounds really challenging and difficult. And what a growth journey that you've been on to get yourself back. That must have been taken a lot of work, and courage to step forward again. So great to hear you're doing really well. That's good news. I was in a car accident, hit by 3 cars. No. And these things can and do happen. So it's amazing how resilient you've been, that you've been able to rise up and step forward again, Tracy. That's really powerful, really powerful. So stepping into our own power. And part of this idea of safety is the more safe we feel, the more we can step forward into our own power. And power, not in a bad way, in a positive way. Stepping forward into a positive form of power. When we think of power, it can go in different directions. We can, and you think just in terms of politically, for instance, and power can go in different directions. It is an opportunity, and that is an opportunity. This world is an opportunity for our soul to shine, or for our soul to struggle, for our soul to rise up again, for our soul to experience the full range of human emotions and human experiences. I am going to pick a card, check in with the Starseed Oracle about this topic of safety. And it seems like there's almost an undercurrent of from safety to power, from safety to empowerment, personal empowerment. What is personal empowerment? What is being assertive? What is it like to stand up for your needs? And how does that affect you in life, in work, in relationships, in all aspects of your life? Standing up for yourself, standing up for your own rights, for your own needs. How does that affect you? How does it affect your life? Really important questions. All right, so the Starseed Oracle is telling us something beautiful, and I love this message. It's telling us that all paths lead home. All paths lead home. So every aspect, we all have slightly different, we're all slightly different. We come from different families, and even if you come from the same family, you're also different within your family. Everyone's different. Every snowflake is unique. So there's a unique essence in this creation, in this existence from one force, one source. There is this infinite creativity, and such creativity that every snowflake is unique. So that uniqueness is something beautiful. And all of our experiences are bringing us back to this, to home. What is home? Home is safety. Home is inner authority. So when we talk about power, maybe a better word for it, as this card represents, is inner authority, intuition, turning your gaze within, trusting your intuition, trusting your feelings, trusting that we can look at any situation in a different way. And there's many truths within the one truth, and perhaps there isn't even a one truth. It is like a rainbow. It is tricky when there are these kind of dominating perspectives or black and white views, and we need to find a way to step past that, to transcend that, to look past black and white thinking and realize there is this cosmic web. There is this multiplicity of all paths leading home. I'm just bringing that up a bit closer. All paths leading home. And as I said, it's like home is where the heart is. We can always look at, sorry. We can always look to the external world. We can look outside of ourselves to find answers. And yet within us is a web, an infinite web of wisdom. When we look within, when we realize that the source is within, that it's not outside of ourselves, then we maybe become open to receive this wisdom, to receive this intelligence from our inner landscape, from our soul, and developing a connected relationship with our soul. Perhaps that is our life challenge, our life task. But every life has a soul contract. It has a vision for what is possible, for what is realistic, for what is destiny. And developing a stable relationship with one's soul brings us close to the source, brings us close to our source of our path, our unique path, our unique destiny, our unique connection to become this one, to become this oneness, this being of non-duality, of connection, of being in the world but not of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. And we are still connected. I think I've frozen a couple times. The Wi-Fi is not that strong. I was listening to something this morning. It's a channel, I forget her name. She's really interesting, very interesting lady. She channels people, and I think I don't necessarily agree with everything she says or does, but it was interesting. I was having a look at the clients. I was having a look at the comments, not the clients. I'm just checking something. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, there we go. So I was looking in the comments, and there was this incredible division, and people just couldn't cope with what she was saying because they disagreed. She was talking about a politician. I won't mention his name, but he's a politician in New York. Marianne will know all about him, a politician in New York. And she was picking up this negative force, which a lot of people pick up with him, duplicitous. You cannot quite trust the field. There's this, oh, I'm Robin Hood, taking from the rich and giving to the poor, but reality doesn't really work that way. You know, if you look at all these communism and Marxism and all these systems, they just killed a lot of people and had a few people in power who took everything from everyone. So it's not really a system that works, and historically it's been the most sort of evil, the most dark kind of force. So he's kind of bringing this disruptive energy, which doesn't necessarily have to be all bad, but it's certainly is dangerous. He happens to be a mayor in New York. I won't mention his name, Marianne. And this reading, oh, let me see if I can find, no, I don't think I can find it. Oh yeah, maybe I can. So this lady, she's a very interesting channel, and she was just reading his energy. But what was almost more interesting was the comments. So her name is Grandmother Maitreya on YouTube. So Marianne, if you tune into that, Grandmother Maitreya. So the comment section were just incredibly divisive. Like people were just and attacking each other, and there's people who, same with Anthony Fauci, so people who like just, I don't know, that you can kind of like someone, but just, yeah, it's kind of interesting. He wants to turn New York City into a Muslim communist city. So Grandmother Maitreya, that's the channel. So it's just interesting that these leaders, like, they rise up and you don't really know who would vote for them. Often you think, how would someone actually vote for this person, and why? And it is very disruptive. It is very disruptive. So welcome to the show, Presh. And just talking about it, I feel like really negative, dark energy. That's what happens with intuition. We can intuit a lot. We can intuit it all. So I have to kind of just cleanse myself now, because I felt really dark energy just talking about it, just mentioning. Prefer not to go there because it's very disruptive. And that's what happens with these kind of forces in the world. If you connect to their energy, that really pulls you down. And his energy it's very negative. Let's put it that way. So yeah, thank you, Marianne. I wish everyone, pray for everyone and raise the energy, and let's just remember what communism has done historically, and it hasn't been a force for good. It just hasn't. It's always been a force for whoever is telling you it's going to be good, and then takes everything from the people for themselves. But it doesn't end up well. So we have tried that. Has been tried before. So I don't understand how it's so interesting and strange that New York City, which is such a city of freedom and capitalism, has brought this person in. So is his wife's energy. She supported Hamas on October 7th, 2023. The dark side of the Force, David, like Star Wars. Yeah. Well, it really is the dark side. So we need to come back to our Jedi Knights, come back to our power, come back to our self, because our soul is not like that. So the point was, the comments of that reading was so strange, like so divisive. Like people were defending this man, and they were going, oh, he's so wonderful, and then they were damning other people, and it was so disturbing reading the comments. But more disturbing was connecting to his energy. So coming back to our Jedi Knight power, they sell T-shirts. Come to the dark side. We have cookies, and they may be digital cookies. It's interesting what kind of cookies that refers to. But that's the channel I'm referring to. It's called Grandmother Maitreya, for anyone who's interested. I listened to that channeling and it really disturbed me, and I don't recommend you do listen to it. But she has some other material that's interesting, and I don't know why I'm recommending this, mentioning it at all. It's just something that came up on my YouTube feed this morning, and I went in and clicked on it, which was a mistake. So I don't recommend you make the same mistake as me, because entering into that dark field is just going to swallow you up and take you into darkness. So why focus on the darkness when we can focus on the light, on positivity, and on working things forward, making things better? However, we do need to acknowledge that the dark is there, that the violence is there, that there are people who are spreading delusion, spreading hatred, spreading fear, spreading. This is stuck. Thank you, Jess. There are people who are spreading hatred, who are bringing hatred to the force and promoting violence, promoting terrorism, promoting fear, promoting propaganda, deception. There's a lot of these energies. But coming back to the one source, coming back to this infinite and complex web that we are all part of, we're all connected to, this rainbow of consciousness, this rainbow of light, this oneness that people have called a being, people have called a God, that we are part of. It allows things to be expressed. The universe, the force, the landscape, the portrait, the canvas on which we express ourselves is an open field. So it allows us to express ourselves, even when we are expressing violence, hate, fear, all these divisive kind of energies. It actually allows that. And so we do need to be patient with people sometimes so that they can express this anger and rage and let it out their system. As a healer, as a psychotherapist, as an alchemist, the approach is always to release these energies in a healthy way so you don't hurt other people. So to release it, go into the waterfall, go into the fire ceremony, go into the ayahuasca ceremony, go into emotional release. There's so much emotional release processes I've done, which are very simple. Energy hygiene, just to do every day. And when you take a shower every day, clean the energy. Water is incredibly powerful to cleanse our energy field, to cleanse our spirit. So welcome to the show, Marianne. Welcome, Presh. How are you? Jess is sending a beautiful message. Thank you, Jess. You're Master Yoda. We're spreading the light. We're building the light, not to bypass what is happening around us, but to build the energy, to send the energy into a possible, in a beautiful direction, into what is the possible realm, which is creating a magical kingdom on planet Earth, creating a magical kingdom on planet Earth. This is the potential. This is where we sit. Just tuning into the Starseed Oracle, and we get Earth energy reminding us, where are we from? The pulse of the mother. Slow down. Spend time in nature. So nature is the great healer that takes us away from these divisive energies I've been speaking about. Just thinking about it, tuning into it, I felt really exposed. And this earth pulsing, this is the reminder. That's the earth pulsing. That's a reminder where we can go for healing, where we can go for recovery, where we can tune into the energy that will transform this. So the earth energy will transform these type of energies I've been discussing. To be the Master Yoda is to go into the forest, is to go into Mother Earth, is to go into, to visit the ocean, to explore the rainforest, to walk amongst the trees. That's to go back to our origins, our home, the master frequency. And the earth carries a master frequency. To be Master Yoda, that's our home. That's the place where we can restore, we can bring ourselves back into vibrating with light, with harmony. So that is the answer to that question, to that challenge, to whatever is holding us energetic hostage, that is that kind of struggle energy. We don't need to go there anymore. We can go there, but the way to transform that energy, the way to empower ourselves, is to go into the forest, go into nature, go into this, get the sun's rays on our body. Have you heard that today biker clubs rode into Dearborn, Michigan? They're going into a city that is 90% Muslim to pray and have a barbecue. Thousands of them. I'm waiting on YouTube footage. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't really follow the news much, Marianne. I just check into YouTube sometimes. I do have a bit of a YouTube habit, and I'm live on YouTube, so I do have this YouTube connection. So I don't know what's going on. That's really interesting. What do you think of that? Is it going to help? How are we going to bring people into harmony, into peace, into peace, into this, the message that a lot of the grand avatars and masters had, which was inner peace, inner harmony, radiating love, because there's certain aspects in humanity that are radiating hatred and division and violence, and that's, it's really, I feel very sad about that. I feel very sad when I see violence, when I see people who are supporting and promoting violence. It's very, very sad. But instead of being sad, we are Master Yoda. We are going to transform that energy. We're going to raise it up, to realize our mission, our double mission, which is to bring the light, to serve humanity by connecting to our star origin as well as our earth origin. And that is what being Master Yoda is, connecting to the sky, connecting to the earth. And in the Qigong practice, often we're connecting to the sky, connecting to the earth. Marianne says, not sure, I'm expecting some pushback by the cops, not the bikers. Yeah, a lot of the law enforcement tends to be on the side of just be on a certain side, but that's another topic, I guess. It is important that we stay true to ourselves, stay grounded, stay connected, and keep energizing the positive forces, and radiating out the wisdom and intelligence of Source, and bringing the Divine Mother, the loving frequency, Mother Mary energy, bringing that divine feminine into the world, which is nurturing and loving and supporting. So that is my say. Let me know in the comments what you think of that, if it resonates. And I'm looking around, there's sounds of a little dog running around. And she's not sure if she wants to be part of this conversation today, because we've explored a lot of shadows. We've explored a lot about safety, about what it means to be safe in our bodies, but safe in our minds, in our psyches, in our emotions, and what that requires growing up. If we didn't have that as children, how to heal that as adults, how to build assertiveness, build our own expressive power, build our own ability to assert our needs, to say that I have needs, and that is okay. You could ask her opinion. And we have a little spirit animal that's come in. You cannot see her, but she's here with me. And this spirit animal, she wants to be part of this energy to raise up the frequency, to bring the energy into alignment. She's here bringing love, bringing light. And what she's telling me is, don't forget simply observing your breath, becoming mindful of your breathing. You will automatically come into balance, not by forcing yourself into balance, just by simply being mindful of your breath, of your breathing. And she says that will bring calmness into your own body and calmness into the field. It's a really important message she's bringing us. Just simple things. And animals are so in tune, and it's always instinctual and straightforward, getting into the most basic elements, which is the breath. And Jess is sending a beautiful heart, a beautiful prayer. So I am going to perhaps even come back later, or perhaps come back tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow, about the same time tomorrow, or a little bit later, maybe. That would be a good time, like 20 minutes from now tomorrow. 20 minutes from now tomorrow. Around this time, but a little bit later, maybe 27 minutes from now tomorrow. That will be my goal. Just to check in with everyone, see how they're processing these energies. If anything's come up for them, they've remembered something from their childhood. We may do some meditation, some inner child healing, some connecting to these type of ancestral energies to clear them, to master them, to recalibrate them. So always we can recalibrate, we can transform energies, we can master Yodi, any energy. We can transform any energy. So it's been lovely, beautiful to be with you, to share and to be here. Presh wants a card just as I'm saying goodbye. That's timing is everything, Presh. So Presh wants me to connect to. Are you able to come in tomorrow, Presh? As I was saying, I was like 26 minutes from now. I was thinking around that time. That would be really good, Presh. Because just so I will be kind of fresh. And when I've done a lot of talking, I get kind of, I'm not even sure what I'm saying after a while in it. I'm not, if it makes any sense. But this is inviting you to share your energy. That there is a real connection in the sixth chakra, in the pineal. So it's saying you have the pineal developed, and that's where the field is taking me within you. It's over here, but it's also saying to share your voice. That's important, to share your energy which comes from the throat chakra. But immediately I'm feeling this enlightenment, or this elevating light, which comes from the sixth chakra. All right. So thank you everyone for being here, for sharing. Thanks. May the force be with us. Beautiful message from Stu in Florida. May the force be with us. Sending much love. Jess says, thank you, David. You all take care. Choose love. So thank you, Jess. Choose love. Choose love over fear, love over hate. Choose the love and raise up the energy of love. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Stu. And Precious, if feel it. Thank you. Thank you, Paresh. And lots and lots of love, radiating out this love, embodying it and stepping into it. Bringing that energy into the world and bringing it, starting with the self and spreading it out collectively. Thank you to anyone interested. I am working on pilgrimages, sacred pilgrimages to places of elevation, of clarity, of transformation, of enlightenment, places particularly important to Buddhist culture in Asia, the Kingdom of Bhutan, the Kingdom of Thailand, taking people on pilgrimages where there's time in nature, where there's stillness, where there is this element of spaciousness to give people time to just relax, just be with themselves. A co-creative, nurturing space of loving, of love, of spaciousness, of beautiful harmony. That's the invitation. We do have this animal behind me. You may have seen some movement, this beautiful dog element. And details of that are in the information section on the YouTube channel. I will share more soon. Let me know. You can always contact me if you are interested in those tours, those pilgrimages. They're not tourism focused, they're spiritually focused, aimed at spiritual cultivation and expansion, as well as wellness and well-being. So very much a holistic design in creating a container vessel for spiritual experiencing and spiritual progression. So till we meet again, au revoir, till tomorrow. Have a beautiful, beautiful afternoon, evening. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and sending you love from Australia. Thank you all for tuning in.